It's 7:10. Now, new unemployment figures are released this morning and they're expected to be up again. They're also expected to show that it's not just those on lower incomes who are being affected. Jo Scott Rogers was a successful account manager for a shoe company, but she fell on hard times after being made redundant more than a year ago. This is her story.
I lost my job back in 2008, which I'd been with for 3 years. So basically I'd gone from £50,000 a year down to earning £67 a week. Every time I went for a job, you're overqualified or we can't pay that sort of money. And I said, well, I'm happy not to accept that. I just would like to be back out there working. You know, there is no other income other than what I was earning. So as soon as that stopped, it affected my whole family. At one stage, I actually had to go out and cash a cheque that I knew would bounce just to bring food in. So basically entailed losing my home, which was very distressing and upsetting because I put everything into that. That was my dream and it was mine, no one else's. I've worked all my life to get that and a year later lost it. I've had to take tablets that have made me put on weight. Just to sort of balance out, obviously, the depression or whatever's going on. I've never had a problem with getting a job until I turned 40. I'm still smiling, and I think that's the only way you can get through.
And Jo joins me now in the studio, along with Rob Tolan from Elizabeth Fincare, a charity which helps families stay in their homes by paying a grant. Good morning to you both. It's difficult, isn't it? Because there will be people saying, she's posh, she'll cope. What's the problem with that?
Well, I'm certainly not posh. Well, I like to think I'm posh, but I'm certainly not. All I've ever done is work for a living. Since I left school, I was brought up to go out and work. My mother was a hairdresser. That's what you're going to be, was a hairdresser. I decided I didn't want to do hairdressing anymore and just really went out into the workplace and made a career for myself.
You made a career, you paid your taxes.
Yes.
You did all the right things.
Yes.
And then, unfortunately, lost your job.
Lost my job.
And it also seems, unfortunately, it's like a pack of cards. One thing goes and then the whole structure collapses, doesn't it?
It certainly does. I don't think people realise how difficult it is because obviously you've got outgoings and you live to your means, and as soon as it's all gone, there's no one there to help you.
What about your partner who we saw there?
My partner is a writer, and basically I've been helping to support his dream of writing. It's not quick to get a book out, you know, written. You can't just do it in 5 minutes. So that takes obviously quite a bit of time. He's had one published and we've got a few others on the go. But as I say, it's not a quick and easy thing to happen. And basically, he doesn't get any help at all because he was self-employed.
Right. Rob, more and more people like Jo facing an uncertain future.
Indeed. I think the difference with this recession compared to previous recessions is that it's affecting a lot of those industries that are based around service and that kind of thing. So marketing, retail, sales, getting a lot of architects come to us and that kind of thing. And it's a shame because there seems to be very little sympathy with those.
Well, I was just about to say the sympathy for those who want to earn a high salary is perhaps lacking, isn't it? Really, because there's this feel of, you know, well, you had it all. Why don't you just sell a bit more of it?
Exactly, but we did some research recently that showed that 41% of people that are in these in professional jobs find that if they were not to be paid a salary for more than a month, they wouldn't be able to cover their bills and mortgage. So it's not as if these people have got big nest eggs that they can call upon, you know, when they fall upon hard times. And
that is the problem. Is there anything that you wished you'd done differently?
I don't think there is anything I could have done differently, other than probably not have had my house. I had literally just bought a house in my name. It was my little nest egg, and I was so proud, and my children were so proud of me. And I wish I hadn't bought it because my mortgage was £925. If I'd been renting, which I am now, it's £825. They would have helped and paid. Yeah. So I ended up losing my house.
And the other thing, Rob, is that the government is trying desperately hard to help young people, and of course it is, because people are just leaving university. 30,000 new jobs for young people. But the problem is older people are falling by the wayside, aren't
Exactly.
they?
And I don't want to take anything away from the government for all the help they have given to young people, but if you look at some of the schemes in place, things like help with the mortgage, sometimes that can take up to 40 weeks to kick in. You have to be in receipt of certain benefits before you're eligible for that, so it takes time, by which time you've accumulated more debt on the credit cards, you're in more of a perilous situation, and yeah.
And then charities like yours come into play, which are great help. Thank you very much, both of you, Jo and Rob. Good luck for the future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.